Hey, family, thanks so much for joining me. So, I wanted to talk with you some more about time as an illusion. So I got into talking about time and um, bringing a few of the pieces together and looking at the double slit experiment and thinking about the similarities, at least in my opinion, when it comes to looking at time and thinking of it like if this person is observing it and they think, oh, this day is dragging on, then it will drag on, and that changes how time moves versus a person who's in this day is flying by, and that changes the way that time is moving for them. Um, I think that it's fascinating. What Another thing that I wanted to get into was and I started touching on this, that two two clocks pretty similar. Some would say the same clocks could be in the same room beside each other and they would still measure time differently. Um, Even if it is like nanoseconds off, it's still um, different. The two times are different, and it's difficult to account for something like that. So for me, I was thinking, about time being an illusion, like it's whatever we believe it to be, and then I was reading in the compendium of the Emerald Tablets how um some people would say time is like all times exist at the same time. So the past, present, future all exist right now. And then another thing that I was listening to Carlo Rovelli talk about, and I thought was really fascinating, but it's true, that there's a delay. So, for example, we see, with air quotes, I say that, but information is coming in through our eyes, so we're sensing information with our eyes, and then there's a delay between the time that the information comes in. At least the information, whatever occurs, it comes in, it's processed, and then this is what we see. So it's all in our heads, basically. Um, and I think that that is fascinating as well, because then, like Ravelli was talking about, okay, so this means that we're never really in the present moment. We never really saw anything right now and right now and right now, and and so on, because there's a delay. We observe it, we sense it, and then it comes in, it's processed, and then that's and don't get me wrong, I know that that is super fast, the way that the information is processed and then presented to us. But I still think we, you know, would be living in the past. So, a lot of people say, how it happens when, a fly is flying past, and, for a lot of people it's like they're swiping at the fly with the fly swatter, and it's the fly is like, just chilling, buzzing by, because it already went by, and our brains just processed it for us and then fed it back to us, and then that's how it happens. So when I think, going back to an illusion, the idea of an illusion, it's our belief about something. So if time is, if we believe that it's slow, it will be. And that's another example, if you're following me, that if we believe it, then it's true. So with time, if we believe that it's dragging, it will drag. And even if it doesn't drag this second, there might be a delay. Then we're getting into the fourth dimensional type of thinking. even if we don't um, get to right in this second see the result of what we believe in the future. It could be in the near future, it could be in the distant future, but we'll see how um, our belief, our expectation, so on, affected reality. And I think this is something that for a lot of people, um, it's it's really deep. It goes deep. It's to me, it's so fascinating, and I could talk about this for such a long time. But it's fascinating to me because um, our illusion, if we get into narrative and things like that, our personal narrative and, collective unconscious and things like that, and we can start thinking about, okay, so if we keep saying something, it can become true because that's the way that we can affect reality. If we're going back to the double slit experiment, we can affect it, we can actually change it. So it benefits us to start thinking in terms of what we really want to happen instead of what um, is happening right now. And so there's a video that I was watching from Abraham Hicks, and they talk about this so eloquently. It's this video, and they say something to the effect of they let go of reality, or they talk about that. They're encouraging the listener, um, as they're talking to their friend, and their friend is asking them, "Oh, you seem like you're so much happier. What's going on?" I'm letting go of reality. So basically, and Neville Goddard has talked about it as well in different videos, but it's so important. It's so key. Um, just just to think about it that way, that we're here and something is a certain way, and so many people just say how much they hate it, and this is terrible and whatever. And I think a lot of people forget the power that they can have, which I was talking about in another video. The power that we can all have in changing what's going on, changing the channel, so to speak. So I was reading the Bible tonight as well in the Corinthians, and I was thinking about this in, Corinthians, the first and second chapters in the New Testament. Um, and what I was thinking about with Corinthians, it was talking about the God uses the foolish things to confound the wise. Because if we're talking to someone who would, maybe consider themselves to be educated, and I say that with air quotes because maybe some other people would say indoctrinated, but a person who's had a lot of, training in academia, and I would say that I have as well. I think the difference is my spiritual experiences since, I was a kid have been undeniable, and they've kept me grounded, I would say, and also connected to the spiritual side of things, of this so-called reality. Um, but foolish things confound the wise. So a person might be saying, no, well, what do you mean our beliefs can influence? However, there have been experiments that have been repeated that are showing this. Um, and so then what? It's, it's the foolish thing, right? Seems like the foolish thing is confounding the wise person. So anything, and in this, in the couple of chapters in Corinthians, the first and second chapters in Corinthians, um, it was also talking about how these things are true, like the foolish things confound the wise. Things that are not bring to nothing things that are, so that no flesh basically would be considering itself to be more, I guess, than it should be. And so no flesh should glory in God's presence, is what it is. And so this, to me, this means, and the way that I'm folding it in here is that all these things, the things that, they would say are tangible, so-called material things, are really not when it comes down to it. If we're going to have that debate, maybe that could be for another video. But what I'm saying here is, we can touch, our hand, or, our shirt or something, pants, and those things we can say are our, if we're talking about our hand, let's just stick with, we could touch our hand, we can tap our hand and we say that's flesh, but it's nothing compared to the spiritual, because the spiritual is where that the flesh and everything else that we see or sense in this so-called reality comes from. So it's nothing compared to the parent, which is the spirit. And it's, again, I say fascinating a lot, maybe in these videos, but it is, to me, it's just so fascinating to consider that there's so much there that what we can touch is nothing. The tangible, the material, so-called, it's nothing compared to what created it. And so we have to keep that in mind. In my opinion, we should keep things in perspective that way and remember, like, what created time is us, and not letting time take over our lives. It's, oh no, we're running, this 2 seconds behind and we gotta, whatever. We need to remember, I would say, the importance of that we create all those things. And instead of letting it run away, instead of putting the cart before the horse, we got to remember we are creators of all of these things. And if we want more time, if we want more space, if we want more abundance, if we want more love, we want more caring, kindness, togetherness, peace, patience, love, all these things, then we can create those things. We can pull them into our reality by using the power that's at our fingertips. And that's where, I was talking about the vortex before. That's where I would say we start remembering, okay, feel good, focus on things that help us feel good, help us, get back into feeling good, feeling like anything is possible, feeling neutral, and however we feel, even if we feel like we're in the depths of despair, still asking for what we want. So when we do that, everything can change. We can change the entire world. There's so many things that we can do with this power. And I think if we're using it for good and we're actually using it to create the things that we've been really wanting that are good things, then the vibration can be improved for the earth, for our multiverse, for others, for us, for plants and animals. For There's so much that can be done just from that little bitty thing of remembering that we are the creators, that our beliefs, our expectations, and all that create so many things. So I'm going to end this video for now, but I will continue this conversation, and I hope that people enjoy it. I hope that people continue to enjoy this content, and I want to put out more, videos that are interesting, that hopefully are useful for you, but just encouraging you never to forget your power. Thank you, family, for joining me for this again. Hope it's interesting, and hope to bring you some more soon. All right. Thanks so much. And happy lightning fast manifesting as always. All right, family. Love you. Bye for now.